everyone, I'm here with another book review. Today we're doing Green by J. Lake. This story was very interesting from beginning to end. The story follows a girl who is not named at the beginning. Everyone just calls her Child or Girl, and she's brought from her home to like sort of the center of the world called Copper Downs, and she's brought to this place called the Pomegranate Court where I believe, if I remember the storyline correctly, it's about like 7 years. She's raised by these mistresses who teach her reading, writing, sewing, cooking, so she can become like the perfect wife or just like the perfect woman within their society. And when she realizes this, once she becomes around like 12 or 13, she decides to revolt, and she destroys her beauty by slicing her cheeks. So her face is no longer beautiful, and she runs away. She goes to her old home. She joins this, not really like a cult. They sort of act like one in a sense, but they work with the Lily Goddess, who is like this very big goddess from her old town, or from her old country. And so she lives with them for a few years, kind of grows into herself, both physically and sexually. That was a little unnerving for me because she was like 16. She was like having sex with everybody. Not everybody, but a lot of people. It was a little unnerving, but I didn't care too much about it. And it was mainly females, which was pretty fun. The author Jay doesn't get too into it. He just kind of states it like, this happened, and you're just like, oh, okay, so it happened. That's fun. While she's in the Pomegranate Court, she's given the name Emerald, and to also revolt against that, she decides to call herself Green. And when Green comes back to Copper Downs after going home, after being in the home of the Lily Goddess, she has to fight this evil back home, and it's sort of like a god who's taken over a person, and it's somebody that she knows, so it's very stressful for her. And she's only like 16, I think she's close to 17, and she's basically forefronting the effort to take down this god. I give this story 3 stars. I give the story 3 stars because I felt that there was wonderful world building. There were languages and different cultures within each country, each town, each village, which I thought was very close to what the real world is. And it was very intriguing to have this whole world sort of set up. I would have liked to have like a map in the book because I couldn't find one in at least my copy of it. And I thought that there could have been a little more to do with the Ox endurance. He was an anchor for Green to think back to her childhood, to be nostalgic, and in the end he comes up again. But I feel like there should have been more, especially with the end where with Endurance and Choi Bulsin, I'm probably saying that wrong, but the god, we'll call him the god, with Endurance and the god, and have Green sort of process that a little more instead of like immediately understanding it. I would have liked a little bit more of that, just because Endurance is such a big part of her. Now all of a sudden everyone likes this ox. Towards the end, where you find out Green is actually pregnant, when I first read it, I got a little confused because I felt like it had been like only a few days since she slept with a man, and so I was the one and only man she slept with, may I point out. So I was a little confused, and I was like, wait a minute, it's been like 2 days, right? And then I thought back and I was like, no, it's been like at least 2, maybe 3 weeks. So it's a little more able to pinpoint. And you can tell that soon, because my sister told that soon that she was pregnant, so it's possible. I know there's a second book that comes after Green called Endurance, but I don't know specifically if I'd read it. I didn't feel like the ending of the book caused me to be so intrigued that I would read the second book. I might probably later on just to know how the story goes, but I feel like Green ended in such a way that you don't have to read the second book. You can just read this book. There's a story, there's an ending that tells you what's probably going to happen, and so it's not so like claws in you to go read the second book. At least for me. For other people there that's read the story, they probably just jump straight into the second book, and that's great. You know, everyone reads differently. Everyone has different feelings toward books. This is mine. All in all, I really like the story. I like this. I like the world building. I like the conflict. Um, I liked how it was a little off-putting. I liked how sexually confident Green was a lot of times. Um, so yeah, I hope you enjoyed my little review of Green by Jay Lake. And all my social media and my Goodreads profile will be down below in the description. If you have any books that you feel that I should review, uh, comment down below. Bye bye. Destroy this evil that is living there.